The mid-afternoon sun warms my neck as I look around the dry maize fields. I'm having a tour of what grows in Africa with a brilliant woman who owns this land, Mavis.
This land is 10 hectares.
Wow.
We have divided it. I've gotten 2 hectares for my animals and the rest for farming.
The land is separated into careful areas for animals, maize, seeds and vegetables to give her crops the best chance to grow. Something that's getting harder every year because of extreme conditions like long droughts or heavy floods. Remnants of the year's harvest crunch under my boots as we walk along the terracotta dirt path back to the farmhouse to feed her chickens. 150 of them. I watch her toss the feed lovingly towards them as she tells me their names and personalities.
They don't have names.
Although Mavis is blessed with more than 250 animals and various vegetable patches, her largest crop is maize. Zambians use the maize to make their staple dish, shima, a cheap, starchy porridge that's eaten morning, noon and night. But this year, maize production across the country fell by more than 20% because of extreme droughts and heavy floods.
Seed from the rains. Maybe instead of starting the rains in November, it starts in January or
Mavis gestures for me to sit on a log near an impressive pile of dried black beans. She goes to work at peeling the deep purple beans from the crusty pods and sets them aside for me to crush in a huge pestle and mortar. I learned these are velvet beans, rich in protein and nutrition, and she eats them with tomatoes in a stew.
Then after roasting them,
They were given to her in a project to help farmers bounce back after COVID. Mavis explains these beans can be dried out and crushed into cheap animal feed for her cows, goats and all the other animals.
And how much of a benefit is that for you to have these for your animals?
She doesn't only feed this to her own animals, but sells them to other farmers as well, for a decent profit.
Beans, you can even see from my chickens. I don't buy feed from shops, I just make my own feed.
We take a break and sit back down. I listen to old stories about her farm, and there's nostalgia in her voice. She tells me about her husband who died a couple of years ago, leaving her all alone. The silence hangs in the air as I look at Mavis's face. I notice she's wearing a woolly jumper and a long-sleeve top, in total contrast to my loose, sweaty shirt, and I ask her jokingly if she's cold. Surprisingly, she nods back.
It was very difficult, like in May, because we grow vegetables as well.
Zambia has actually been unusually cold this year, she says, citing climate change. The summers are hotter and the winters are colder. As an African farmer, she's not used to it. There aren't greenhouses or polytunnels in the country. They've never needed them for protection. Now when she wakes up, temperatures are as low as 4 degrees, and it's having unforeseen consequences on a farm.
They were not growing fast the way it does when it's hot.
How much did it slow it down, the whole of your yield?
Maybe I can say 50%. We are worrying. Like the time I've grown up and doing the farming, this is the first year.
Do you worry that there's going to be more of this with climate change?
Yes.
What will you do? I ask Mavis. She looks at me with a twinkle in her eye as we get up and walk behind the farmhouse. I see a generator connected to a solar panel with a water bore. One of the main issues for Zambia is water scarcity. As a landlocked country, it relies a lot on the main river, the Zambezi.
So I never had water. There's no stream nearby. So I thought for myself to start irrigating my fields, I need to have water. Because water is life. Without water, there's no life.
The dappled sunlight gleams through the window of my car as I return back to my comfy hotel. Her farm and the people of Zambia are experiencing climate change firsthand. And rather than wait for others to help, she's taken responsibility for her own destiny. She's adapting for a better life with the technological innovations we already have at our disposal. And it makes me wonder, are we in the West too complacent to do the same?